Can you fly a complex airliner in VR using the Pimax Crystal? That is what this video is about today, as well as showcasing the brand new update for the Just Flight 146 Professional, because this thing continues to be an absolute class act. Seriously, I said a while ago now, this is my all-time favourite aircraft for MSFS, and I stand by what I said. This thing feels alive, and even though I'm not much of an airliner type of guy, generally speaking, this aircraft gets under your skin. It's a beautiful model. So if you haven't bought this yet, please tell me why in the comments below. I know it's expensive, but it doesn't get any better than this when it comes to aircraft add-ons, especially at this level. Right, now I've said that, let's start this thing up and come with me for a flight from Biggin Hill to Manchester. So with that being said, I just want to say that this video is proudly sponsored by FS Academy, which provide the best tutorials for this sim. And whether you are flying complex airliners like we are today, or you're just starting out, there's definitely a training package for you, no doubt about it. And all of their training packages are from real world pilots and instructors. That's what makes them very special. And each package is bespoke to whatever you're learning and has updated charts and resources, everything you need to get the best out of your experience, and it really is very rewarding. All the links for FS Academy will be in the description below. So you can see here we're in the DOF Reality H2 using the haptic seat, the U-shaker. Love that thing. In fact, this whole setup I've got now is basically my dream setup. You know, I feel very lucky that I've got this setup now working perfectly for me. And yeah, what does it feel like to fly in the 146 with all these beautiful gauges, this amazing cockpit layout? Well, let me tell you straight away, without messing around, it is spectacular. I think this really shows what the Crystal is about. An aircraft like this, the gauges, the whole environment of the cockpit, it just pops out at you. It looks gorgeous. It really does. In fact, I've been flying this for the last couple of days, and it shocked me how good this looks. I think this is a very good representation of experiencing what that visual fidelity is like with the aspheric lenses, the 35 pixels per degree, and the extra field of view in a cockpit this big is very, very special indeed. Make no mistake about it. Right, nav light is on high. Actually, let's just check that. Yeah, it is good. And we're going to put the batteries on here. This is a complex bird. And, you know, with aspheric lenses, this is where it's just a joy, because you can move your eyes around a lot more. Like, for instance, I'm not looking right up at that cockpit, overhead, because I can look with my eyes as well, because of the sweet spot is very, very large. Anyway, let's get into the checklist here. Anti-skid is on. Lift spoilers, yellow, green, both on. That's these here. Roger that. AC and bus tie both to auto. Which are these here? Actually, no, they're not. Where are they? I think that's... No, they're over here. You see, it's been a while since I've flown this aircraft. So I think it'll be really good to get to know it once again now that these new updates. And I'll show you what all the updates do, over the course of this video, because this thing now has failure modeling. I mean, that's something I harp on about all the time, is failure modeling. This thing has it now, which makes this add-on even better than it was before. Absolutely superb. Right, okay. Generators 1 and 4. Yep. Both off and reset. Okay, so we can put them both to off again now. Reset and off. So everything I can see here is incredibly sharp, guys. Make no mistake. And what I love about the 146 is the fact that you can zoom into things if you want to. Right, so the APU is now firing up into life. And that's another thing I love about the Crystal, is the fact that you really hear every single sound with these DMAS speakers, which floats over your ears, much like the Valve Index and the Reverb G2. And I've forgotten how much I love that, to be honest. An integrated audio solution is brilliant. Right, APU has now started. The APU RPM is fine. APU air and packs can now be switched on. Pack 1 and 2 is now on. And we need to check the NWS. I will zoom in for you guys. I don't need to do that, but it just makes it easier for you to see what I'm up to. So, power on, and we'll do a self test here. Overhead annunciators, of course, all these work as expected. That's what I love about this aircraft. I think the only thing that it doesn't have now is the working fuses. Everything else is absolutely 100% what you'd expect in the real thing. DC pump and AC pump and PTU. Okay, so that's over here. Switch those babies on. Flight deck emergency lights. I think that is over here. Yep, there we go, arm. And we'll also arm the no smoking sign, well, remember. And one thing we do need is ground power for when we start the engine. We'll remove the chocks. Oxygen masks. Let's make sure they're all working and fine. All good that side. If you wonder what I'm doing, guys, I'm moving around using my hat switch. I get asked that all the time. Where's the test button? Yeah, all good there as well. And by the way, frame rate has also been improved with the 146. I'm getting at the moment, sat on the ground at a big in-hill, 45 to 50 frames per second in the Pimax Crystal. Pretty impressive stuff. Right, we'll just click some of these items off now. In the interest of time, ice detection can be turned on. Fuel quantity has already been checked. Flight data recorder, I checked that before, honest. Altimeters are all good. NWS operations switch. Don't know what that is actually, but let's have a look here. If you don't know where anything is, aha, of course. That's the great thing about the checklist. Yep, everything is good there. It will show you where things are. Next on the list is setting up the TMS. So we're going to go for an 18-degree flap takeoff. So we'll set the speed bug there. In fact, press that first and then set that. So it's 93.7% with the current temperature at 14 degrees. And now we've got all our speed bugs now aligned. I love that feature. That saves a heap of time, without a doubt. All doors and equipment are all good as well. So we're ready to start the engines, guys. Beacon is on. We need the packs and APU air off for this. And let's get this aircraft all fired up here. I always like to put the ignitions on. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that or not, but I do that anyway. Start master on. And we'll do it with engine number 4 first. Here we go. And the sounds with the 146 are absolutely sublime. They really are a beautiful array of different real-world sounds. And I'm very picky with the sounds on an aircraft. And they have absolutely nailed it here. They really have. I have a full review on the channel, but I mean, really, to be honest, I think you already know how much I love this aircraft. I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, look at that. Even all the click spots work correctly as well. Which is quite a rare thing, annoyingly, even in this day and age, for pay-wear aircraft. In case you're wondering, this is the Royal Air Force livery, my favourite. I think she just looks so purposeful in this livery. Right then, that was a good start on number 4. We're now going to start engine 3. Here we go, engine 3, now starting. If you wonder where I'm looking here at the N1. 10%, we can now introduce fuel. Right, we'll just initiate the FMS, or CDU, however you want to call it. That's all in there, good stuff. And we'll add in our flight plan in a moment. So I'm looking here at the FMS, and just, I'm not wanting for any more clarity, if that makes sense. Everything just looks really beautiful in this thing. And I've already spent quite a bit of time in the 146. In fact, I did a 3-hour flight the other day in the Pimax Crystal with the fast charger plug in. and it was an absolute joy. And I find personally that this headset is very comfortable, even though it is, as I've said before, very heavy. Again, looking for 10% N1. And we've got to look for failures now, because there's a new screen on our iPad. In fact, there's two. This one excites me a lot. Look at this. We've actually got a failure system, and things will sort of fail over time if you don't look after the aircraft. And it's quite exhaustive as well. Look at this. We've got pages to this. Ice protection, aircon, landing gear, pneumatic valve system, radios, instruments, engine, APU, fuel, electrical systems, flight controls. Like, just flight. Seriously, you've already impressed me with this aircraft like no other payware release so far for MSFS, and then you go and do this as well. And we've also got a pushback option, which we're not going to need today, annoyingly. I might just show you it anyway. You can see here, and it works a treat. Just those little upgrades make all the difference in my book. Okay, it's now time to put in our flight plan. So we're currently at Echo Golf Kilo Bravo. And we are heading to Manchester. Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. And we are going via just two VORs actually. TNT. So Tango, November Tango. Working. Oh, we've got a few options here. But yeah, we want that one, the first one. Execute that. And the Manchester VOR, which is MNC. No, sorry, MCN rather. And that is it. Very simple flight plan today. So we'll continue with our after start checklist. Now, just to say, you can get charts up on this. I mean, this iPad is, does everything from top of the descent calculator. Your checklist is on here as well, if you fancy that. You've got a nice map view. You can write notes. In fact, I did that the other day when I was checking out VOR frequencies. And also, there is a sim brief. I've used this as well, where you can check your sim brief flight plan and then add it into the FMS, which is a very cool feature. We don't need to do that for today's flights, but again, a very cool feature indeed. Right, so here we go then. Let's just take off our start motor ignition thing. That's the technical name. Here we go. So Gen 1 and Gen 2 can now come online. APU Air and packs 1 and 2. Engine anti-ice as required. That's all good. Brake fans set to auto. That's over here. ACU pump and PTU on. They're already on an auto. Engine 1 and 2 pumps should be on as well, so we'll put them on now. Heaters all on. That is over here. Yeah, they're all on anyway. That's all good. Engine air as required. TMS, all good. Transponder set to TA mode. This, honestly, I actually prefer flying complex aircraft in VR with a headset like this than on a flat screen, even on a 4K monitor, because you can move your head around and the image is just beautiful. It really is. Brake temperature is currently at 13 degrees. Anyway, folks, I think it's time to get rid, actually, of the ground power. That would be embarrassing. And taxi out to the runway in this beautiful beast. That is the Just Flight 146. And if you're wondering, because I'm lazy, I haven't changed my throttle quadrant to more commercial style levers. But I have changed it so that I can use all 4 levers independently for the throttle, which feels great. You know, when you've got your hand over all 4, it's just something about that just feels great. And especially in a motion rig as well, I'm feeling all the vibrations of the engine. And, oh, yeah, it's just... what a time to be a flight simmer. I've said this a few times now, I know, but I never expected, even a year ago, to have this kind of setup in my own home. And it's thanks to technologies that have come down in price, and companies like DOF Reality and Sim Racing Studio, and even like Pimax, for instance, be able to produce a headset with Vario Aero levels of clarity for a lot cheaper. Let's be honest here. I mean, it's an amazing headset. It really is. Absolutely staggering what they've done with this. Right, we'll just... Now, just to say, guys, this area I'm in right now is a PC breaker area. I've got London City over to my sort of, well, 1 o'clock-ish. Biggin Hill by Pilot Plus is a gorgeous airfield, but it's quite heavy on frame rate. And I'm also in, obviously, the Pimax Crystal in a very complex airliner. So, yeah, but I'm still getting 40, at the moment, 42, 43 frames per second. So, I'll take that. That's pretty damn good, I would say. Right, landing lights coming on. And it's time to line up, guys. The exciting bit is upon us. Make sure we're in RNAV mode. And we haven't actually set our cruise altitude. We're going to go right up. We're not going to go too far today because obviously Manchester in this isn't going to take long. But I'm going to climb up to 15,000 feet. I'm just setting that now. You might not be able to see that on the camera. There we go, just with my Bravo throttle quadrant. Which is, by the way, this is the plate that I use with my DOF Reality H2. And it's great because it's perfectly fitted and designed for both the Bravo and Alpha flight controls. And as you can see, it's proper comfy in here. It's a great little cockpit. Very, very cool indeed. Right, guys, I think we're ready for takeoff. One quick look at Biggin Hill, and she sounds absolutely incredible as we take off. Here we go, guys. Just listen to that engine. Oh, we're getting some warnings here.
V1, rotate. V2.
Here we go.
Positive rate of climb, gear up.
Roger that. I mean, they call this the Whisper Jet, but I'm not so sure it's that quiet, to be honest. Imagine what they're going to do with a Vulcan when this sounds as good as this. What an aircraft, eh? What an aircraft. Right, autopilot can come on now. We're going to go into IS mode. And ALNAV. So what's going to happen now is the aircraft is going to pitch up to keep to the desired airspeed, which is around 210, 215 knots. We can see London there appearing off into the distance. And motion compensation also doing its thing because I'm pitched up at the moment, but I'm still exactly where I should be in the cockpit. Very, very cool technology. And there is Canary Wharf, the financial district, the London Dome, London City Airport back there. In fact, I reckon we're going to go right over the top here. All looking absolutely sublime, guys. And of course, in the Pimax Crystal, you can really see the details very, very clearly there. Epic is the word I'm thinking of right now. This is absolutely epic. There's the London Eye. See, the photogrammetry is starting to kick in a bit. My internet at the moment isn't very good where I'm living, but I'm going to be moving soon. And I'm going to get fibre broadband, so I'm thinking of changing my uploads to 4K. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. At the moment, my internet is pretty awful, but look at this. Oh, that is a screenshot right there. London Bridge, just below us there. I actually didn't realise that wasn't planned to go right overhead London, but that's worked out a treat for this flight. So here's your stress test, guys. Recording in the Pimax Crystal over London with a 13900K RTX 4090, and currently we're getting, let's have a look, 42 frames per second. That's not bad at all, considering the resolution is 3500 by, is it 4142, something like that anyway, with very, very high settings. Oh, hello there. That is FS traffic also doing its thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with FS traffic, especially in the future when we might get a general aviation upgrade. I'd also like to see a few things changed. For instance, I'd like to see randomized traffic rather than having to set a flight plan. But I love to see the contrails. Really adds a sense of your sim environment being alive, as well as the aircraft here being alive in the case of the 146. Just the texture detail, I'm seeing it from a different perspective now with the Pimax Crystal, because it's a much bigger display and it's so sharp. I can see every rivet, every detail. It is exceptional. Of course, with the colours as well of this device being QLED, it's very rich. You know, all the colours of the countryside there, the blue sky. I think the only thing that I have noticed with this headset in general is the Miura. There is a bit of Miura compared to other headsets. Well, every headset has Miura, but this one has quite a bit. That might bother you, but I think over time you'll get used to it. Okay, 1,000 to go. We can now turn off our landing lights actually while we're at it. And turn off the APU as well. All is well. Just check the battery voltage actually as well. Battery voltage is good. Air conditioning. Oh, of course, engine air. We need that on. Thank you for reminding me. And APU is now switched off as well. So I've just gone up a little bit higher to 16,600 feet, simply because it was a little bit turbulent, because there's a lot of heat in the UK today, and I'm feeling that in the H2. So it's a bit smoother here at this altitude. And we'll now just check the TMS and set our throttles to sync. That will sync them up nicely. And also we need to check, make sure that we are within limits as well. Let's get all these. That's it. I wasn't very synced up there with the throttles. I'm not used to having 4 engines. There we go. That's it. So at this point, guys, I think we're now in the cruise. We're all good there. And we've reached our climb altitude. Actually, yeah, we can now switch off the PTU, I believe. And I think the AC pump also switches off as well. Let's just check that again. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, PTU and AC pump both off. Roger that. So I hope you're enjoying this flight, guys. Please do let me know, as I say, what kind of content you'd like to see with the Pimax Crystal. But I thought, well, it's about time I showed this beast off again, because it is genuinely my favourite aircraft in this sim right now. And I know, usually, I'm a general aviation kind of guy, but I feel this is a great step up from the more complex general aviation aircraft, say the likes of the Black Square King Air, you know, those sorts of aircraft. It really is pure joy to fly this and work the systems. And there's something about the way this has been put together. The sounds, the modelling, the texture work. It is an absolute beautiful aircraft from just flight. And now that I'm able to fly it in a modern day headset such as the Pimax Crystal, yeah, it looks absolutely spectacular in here. Anyway guys, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this flight and I'll see you as we start to descend into Manchester. So welcome back folks, we're currently now in a descent. We've just done our descent checklist. PTU is now on and pressurization has been set as well. We're just going through 15,000. I'm using IAS mode even to descend here, keeping it around 200 knots. And out there is the Derbyshire countryside. Currently en route to our VOR station, which is Tango November Tango. And then it's on to Manchester. I've just dialed in the ILS frequencies in case we need them. But the weather is very nice today, so I might do a visual approach. But in case you don't know where to find the ILS frequencies, this is a very handy feature Sabre has given the default map now. And that is simply, you can just click on the airport, in this case Manchester, and it's all there, including the course information as well, and even the report, the weather information. Very, very cool, I like that. Nice little touch from the default map. But yeah, all is well inside the 146 Professional. And as you can see, plenty of other airliners around as well. Oh, fantastic. So please do let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see more flight videos. I always say this guys, but I only really show about, well, a very small portion of my flying on the channel. Even more smaller is my flying itself. But that's what this channel is all about. VR and aviation, how both of them come together in such a way to experience this kind of thing right now. Which, I mean, even just a few short years ago, you wouldn't even be able to pay for an experience like this. Let alone have it in your own living room or in your own house. So it's very cool. You know, it is crazy to think that an aircraft of this high fidelity is now available on the Xbox console. I mean, you know, I know you don't have VR, but that is quite remarkable to think that you can experience this aircraft now on a console. I find that mind-blowing. Very, very cool indeed. I recognise that lake down there. That is Carsington Water, on the edge of Derbyshire. And since the visibility is so good, you might even get a glimpse of the Lady Bower Reservoir a bit later on. So we're just listening to the ATIS at Manchester. It looks like runway 23 left and 23 right is the preferred choice. We have the ILS dialed in, 109.50 if we need it. So we'll go ahead and make a announcement for landing. Okay, AC pump now to auto. We'll now switch the APU on as well. Just checking everything's in order. Looking good. Oh, it looks so good in this headset, guys. Seriously. Very, very pretty. Just so sharp. And it's the colours. That's what really makes this headset pop. I'm sure it is. It's just that QLED panel and the difference between that deep blue and the beautiful countryside and this panel here as well. Very, very nice. It's very nice on the eyes. Makes your eyes very happy. We'll have a look at our map here as well, which also, I mean, to you guys, this is going to look like gobbledygook. You're not going to be able to see what I'm looking at here, but I can read all of this text, even the most tiniest bit of text. I can read that with the Pimax Crystal. And I must say, just for like, this is a very small map, by the way, but even with the Crystal, I can read that no problems. So there is Manchester up ahead, as you can see. And due to the absolutely gorgeous weather we have today, I'm just going to go ahead and make a standard pattern entry. Not sure if you can see that, guys, on the camera. Camera, you know what I mean? But there's a power station over there. I can see that so clearly because of those aspheric lenses. That's what makes the difference. And of course, being aspheric lenses, you get more light through than, say, pancake design lenses. Look at that. I can even see. Oh, roger that. I can even see, I was about to say, the right engine there because of the extra field of view of the Pimax Crystal. Right, gear coming down. Oh, look at that for a sight there. And the sounds and everything. Just, you see what I mean, guys? It's absolutely alive, this aircraft. I can't believe how this is just computer code. It feels more than that to me. It really does. Alright, guys, get your seatbelts fastened and secure. We're coming in. You know, when I look at this aircraft and see what they've done, I cannot wait to see what they've got up their sleeve with the Vulcan. Because it's going to have that same sort of in-house just flight touch that this has had. Right, concentration time now. See if we can make a half decent landing. We're a little high on approach. In fact, no, we're actually fine now. Ish. She feels so stable as well, even at these speeds. She feels, you can sense the weight of the aircraft. And how the Doppler LTH-2 is responding differently as well than, say, a small general aviation aircraft. Oh, yes, that felt good. That felt really good. Welcome to Manchester, guys. I hope you enjoyed that flight as much as I did, especially as it's a new experience in the Pimax Crystal. Let's get the speed brakes out.
Yellow and green spoilers.
I think we can make that. We can make it. Here we go. So this has been the Pimax Crystal using the very latest release of the Just Flight 146, using the Doppler LTH-2 and the U-Shake 6, which is a seat pad, all working in perfect harmony to bring the most unforgettable experiences for flight simulation, without a doubt. Please do let me know in the comments below if you've picked up the 146 or if you haven't yet bought this aircraft, because I mean, I appreciate it is expensive, but quality like this doesn't come cheap. And to be fair, I think years ago an aircraft like this would have been a lot more money than it is now today in MSFS. I think the sim platform that Asobo has created has driven prices down for high fidelity aircraft. What do you think? But yeah, an absolute treat in the Pimax Crystal. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I truly appreciate it. Please feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care and bye for now. It's a very busy day here at Manchester. EasyJet, 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 Ryanair. Some weird and wonderful liveries that I've never seen before. You'd be forgiven to think this is real. Just like real images being fed into my VR headset. Show me an experience that beats this for VR. And don't you dare say Beat Saber in the comments.